Let's get it going with our very first guest right out of the box. And this is a name you're familiar with, Frank Reich, who used to coach the Indianapolis Colts. We know him as a star quarterback, and now he's coaching Stanford. And he looks me dead in the eye. He goes, just for 1 year. Coach Reich joins us now. How you doing?
I'm doing outstanding, Joe. Good to be with you.
Well, we appreciate it. And we definitely want to kind of at least go back down memory lane a little bit with your days with the horseshoe on your hat. But you and Andrew Luck paired up for one more, almost like a kind of a reprise or let's get the band back together.
That's right.
With your decision to coach Stanford. Tell everybody how it all came together.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew had to make a tough decision, as far as making a coaching change really in late March, which is not a good time to have to make a coaching change. And just called me up and said, hey, man, I need some help. Would you consider it? And, I was a little bit taken back. I had no idea what was going on. I was retired, and I was playing golf and having a good time. And he said, well, just fly out. Let's talk about it for a day or two, and I'll give you whatever time you need. And so it took a few days, but eventually said, yeah, I'm all in, man. Let's go. Let's go win some games.
It is hard to believe. We're talking with Frank Reich, who's now going to coach Stanford for 1 year. We talked to Ron Rivera a little earlier, and those are two big names in our football world that are both in the ACC. And I know you have ties back in the day at Maryland, but did you see yourself coaching ACC ball?
Of course not. This was never in my wildest dreams.
Yeah. All right, Leon, jump in, because here's a man who has coached, Carolina, Indianapolis, and now out at Stanford.
Well, Coach, how are those frequent flyer miles going for you? Because you're going to have to travel back and forth now that you're with the ACC.
Leon, let me just tell you this. I have jumped up a couple notches in the frequent flyer program here in the last couple months, that's for sure.
Now, you coached, this is in Jacksonville, where we're trying to get that team back to that 2017 form, back to 2022. You coached from 18 into the early 20s. What are your memories of Jacksonville versus Indianapolis?
Well, first of all, Indianapolis cannot win in Jacksonville.
We did put a curse on the Colts.
Let's deal with that curse, Leon. I mean, I don't understand that.
It's real, Coach. It's real.
It is real. It's the craziest thing, Joe.
Yeah.
That's just a crazy thing. Now, when I was there, my first stint in Indy, I was quarterback coach for a few years with Peyton. I was a different story. I think Indy pretty much dominated back then.
Yeah.
But we just could not crack the code down in Jacksonville. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if we had Andrew Luck. It didn't matter who we had. Phillip Rivers. It didn't matter who we had.
Yeah.
You just cannot crack the code in Jacksonville.
And it is wild, because you guys did bring in really good quarterbacks post-Peyton, and you put yourself in position to where you could at least try and make a run with Carson Wentz. You made a run as well. But I'll admit it, I called it the Colts curse, because the Colts fever way back in the day when they came in, the Ursays came in 79 to try and lure Jacksonville into bringing Baltimore down there. 40,000 fans showed up. Anyway, he left and he went somewhere else. So I called it the Colts curse. All right, Leon, jump in one more for Frank Reich as far as Jacksonville and Indy goes.
Well, I mean, those are some heated battles, absolutely some heated battles. But, Coach, is there any fond memory of the rivalry between you and Jacksonville that you could stand over?
Well, when I was the head coach, no. Now, we did have some good games against Jacksonville at our home stadium. And when like I said, when I was the position coach, when I was the quarterback coach, there were some good moments. There were some good moments down there. I remember Reggie Wayne having a couple insane. One year I was coaching receivers, too, down there, and Reggie had a monster game. And we Jacksonville, I always remember those good defenses, and physical team. So, yeah, good rivalry for sure.
All right, so let's look at Stanford, and it is such a puzzle for us to figure out. I call it the All-Coast Conference, any coast conference, anything but what was once the Atlantic Coast Conference. So, to Leon's question, you really have to figure out how to make it best for your players traveling cross-country.
Yeah, we do. And, but we got to make it a non-event for them. Like, hey, we'll do all the work. We'll figure out what are the travel strategies, because we got 4 games that we have to travel 3 time zones. 1 going out to Hawaii and then 3 coming back, to Carolina, Virginia, and Miami. So, we'll do our homework on that. We'll get it right for the players, but the players, they don't need to know anything about that. Just show up and go to meetings, be locked in, and let's play football.
Yeah, I agree with that. So now the ingredients in a football team, you know what winning looks like. You've been part of it. You built it. That was a 2-win club last year. What's your list that you had to have get done?
Yeah, so, it really started with Andrew Luck getting hired as a GM. Andrew's history there as a player, he's always had a love and passion for Stanford. as a school, obviously Stanford football. So I really believe under Andrew's leadership, we're about to enter a new era of Stanford football. And really part of Andrew's vision is, like when he was there with Harbaugh as his head coach, it was physical, smash mouth football. So, at some level, that's what it's going to involve. Now, listen, I'm a quarterback. I like to throw the ball. So, we're going to mix it up for sure. And this is 2025. The game's changed a little bit. And it's a little bit more spread out and we do different things. But that physicality, that mindset has really got to be the starting point.
Yeah, and David Shaw did a really good job too. But are there NIL abilities to go out and attract those types of players that for your type of offense and game?
Yeah, and yes. The short answer is yes. I think our offensive line room is real strong. Our tight end room is real strong. So, and that's where it starts in the run game. So, and I think with and it's Stanford. Listen, I know not if you got an opportunity to consider Stanford, I've been out there for 3 months and I've seen it. I've seen the magic. I've drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I'm like, this place is unique. It's special, and so Andrew's going to do what it takes to bring winning back to Stanford.
Well, listen, Coach, best of luck. Old friend, old enemy. You'll go with that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we appreciate your time. Absolutely.
Thanks. All right, Leon, thank you.
All right, Coach.
Hey y'all, Lauren Brooks here. Thanks so much for watching 1010XL on YouTube. Be sure to like, subscribe, and check out all of our great videos and team-specific channels on the 1010XL YouTube network.